Now, I don't mean to brag, but when Paige and Craig, Paige from Summer House, Craig from Southern Charm, when they broke up, I feel like I have been very classy. I have been very quiet. Mm-hmm. But I need to rant because some of you are being fucking weirdos out here on the internet.
And I'm glad you're ranting, Chelsea, because I just want to say my DMs are open to call Twitch's wife. So come on in.
Come and knock on my door. Call Twitch's wife a.
But if you think my DMs are open to talk about Paige and Craig, I couldn't care less about neither of these people. I don't watch any Bravo shows where the median age
My
is
Tamagotchi is. Hold on.
Screaming, shitting all over the place.
He's fine. I just muted him.
Okay.
He'll be fine.
Perfect. Wait, does she mute it? Because maybe that's why she came to you at 3 a.m. if it was beeping.
No, it was not beeping. It's just she is an anxious child. And I think that the responsibility of motherhood was thrust upon her in a way she wasn't quite expecting from this little gotchi.
Oh, that's incredible. So my DMs are open if you want to call Twitch's wife. But if you are coming into my DMs to talk to me about Craig or Paige, I couldn't care about two people less. I don't watch either of these shows. I don't watch any Bravo show where the median age of the cast is not 43. So I don't want to watch anything about 20-somethings, 30-somethings, whether they work in a restaurant, whether they're at a summer house, whether they're Southern trash. I don't care. I don't want to watch it. And I certainly don't want to be invested in these people's lives. So Chelsea's the place to go to. That's all. Now, with that said, I'd love to talk to you about it.
Thank you. Now, I do think it's funny, though, that you have not been shy about this, about you. I think that you have to give this disclaimer about once a quarter, and yet people continue to DM you. Like, what do you think about this?
No, not just what do you think about this, Chelsea. They think that they are going to be the one to make me have a breakthrough. They're like, well, did you ever watch season 4 of Summer House? Like, no.
You think that he is friends with me and you are going to be the one to convince him to watch the origin story of the Giggly Squad? No.
Right.
Anywho, with all that being said, let's talk about the thing Donnie doesn't want to talk about. Paige and Craig. I actually really like this because you have limited working knowledge, and I want to read what Paige said on her podcast, The Giggly Squad, and then I want to see what your feelings are, if you felt like it was a good statement, a super rude statement, etc. The news had already broken, and then Paige said on her podcast, "He truly helped me grow so much in these past 3 years. I'm a different person than when I started dating him. I feel more mature, more confident, all of these things. That's definitely attributed to him. It's so weird to talk about, and I feel awkward because I don't want to say anything that could be taken and misconstrued about him or about the breakup or any of it. It's really just about two people growing and changing and things that they want in their lives changing." What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's very nice. You think that's rude?
Oh, I don't. But Bravo fans took this and they said, "Burn her! Burn her!" People have been so vile on the internet, so misogynistic. Like, the internalized misogyny of Bravo fans is astounding. And this is one of those examples because in her comments, in the comments of people I'm going to get to in a minute, anybody that is related to Paige has been getting hate comments like, how dare she? She tricked him. He was willing to give up things for her. Like, just coming for her because of her breaking up with Craig.
Okay, first of all, let's not forget, if you are watching reality TV, please remember you are watching reality TV. These people know what they are signing up for. So yes, Craig and Paige are people with real lives, but they also know they're a business. And by joining forces together, they can elevate their own businesses while building together as one. And guess what? Paige was on Southern Charm for some episodes. Craig was on Summer House for some episodes. Mm-hmm. They got to cross over because of this relationship. They both got things from this.
Yes. It's also wild because when Paige was on Southern Charm, when Craig was on Summer House, all of the conversations they had on screen about their future, Paige always said, "My life is in New York. I don't want to move to the South. I'm really happy and content here." And I think it's an example of, and we talked about in our 4 Christmases episode, I talked about how I hate the trope that women in the media are portrayed as wanting to be child-free until all of a sudden they see a baby and, oh, I want to have babies now. Like, You'll change your mind. And I don't think that Paige has talked about being child-free, but it's the same thing of like, she has been telling all of us and Craig where her priorities are, that she likes being in New York. She likes her career. She's doing really well. Giggly Squad is so wildly successful. And yet I think the audience was like, well, surely eventually she'll move to South Carolina and become a homemaker and help Craig out with his sewing. It's like, what do you want from her?
What I want from her, now that she doesn't have to appear on Southern Charm, is for her to be on Trader Season 4. Because no one is going to work that Scottish chic outfit as well as she's going to.
No. Also, if we're manifesting, now that I don't have to worry about immediately her logging on and me saying, I hate your boyfriend, Paige, I'm once again asking, please come on our show. I really think that you would be an iconic guest and we would really vibe. So please. And if you want to talk shit about your ex-boyfriend now, I'm your gal, because now comes the part where I would like to remind all of the Bravo fans a fun little fact about men on Bravo. Just because Craig is arguably the least toxic on Southern Charm does not mean he's not toxic. I am once again reminding everybody, when he went live twice during the pandemic with Tommy Lahren, when he refused to say Black Lives Matter, when he normalized conspiracy theories, when he said vaccinations make you walk backwards, which now weirdly Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live is making like a quirky little like, isn't he so silly? Let's not normalize that, Andy Cohen.
Jesus
Also,
Christ.
let's not forget that what's wrong with my sewing? That happened during a time where Craig was being supported by his girlfriend, Naomi, who was going to school full-time, working full-time, and Craig was sitting around pretending to sew with his sewing machine right in the middle of the living room, pretending that he passed the bar exam. So, Bravo fans, get your shit together.
And you decided to go the toxic, like, moral route, Chelsea. I'm just going to say this. You don't have to find someone on a cast attractive. It's okay to say this show doesn't have any hot men.
That's why you won't watch Mormon Wives.
Exactly. The women of Bravo are beautiful. They're stylish, they're chic, they look great. And I think we want the men to be equal to that. So we try so hard and we say, oh, he's so hot. We do the 50 hottest men of Bravo every year on all these different Instagram accounts. There aren't 50 hot men on Bravo. We don't need to do March Madness with the men of Bravo. There's about 4 that are fairly attractive. Let's just throw those 4 in a barrel and see who lives. Because this man is not hot. My friend said to me, she's like, I know Chelsea's going to send me the Tommy meme or whatever of when they did that Instagram live, but I just find Craig so attractive. And I was like, Tommy aside, he is ugly.
I wouldn't say he's ugly, but I think for me, I've always had his number because he is a Delaware lax bro. Because also, let's not forget, Craig is not Southern. I know that he wants to cosplay a Charleston bro. Craig is from Delaware. So I think for me, because I grew up with that very specific type of douchey lax bro, that I'm like, I know you. I've dated you. No, you're a piece of shit. But now there's people caught in the crossfires, because then Marcelo Hernandez from Saturday Night Live, there were then rumors that Paige was cheating on Craig with him. So she texted him, hey, there's a rumor that you're my boyfriend. I loved this. His response was, fuck yeah, which I think that's funny. But then he started sharing with her screenshots of all of the hateful messages that he was getting. And Paige on her podcast said, this is so embarrassing, and no one involved was defending me, which I found interesting. Craig didn't say shit until finally he took to his stories this past week looking like Danny fucking Tanner, sitting on a front porch with a cardigan, being like, guys, it's okay. I'm gonna be okay. And this is just an example of like the juxtaposition of how she's being treated versus how the media is writing about him. Conover, who put on a brave face for the video, went on to reveal that the split occurred right before the holidays, which left him shocked. But he said it's time to start getting out there and living his life. Like, okay, he's gonna be fucking fine. Everybody that's so worried, he's gonna be fine. So that's all I have to say about that. Team Paige.
Forever.
Forever and always.
Even when she joins the Traders. Unless she's against Big Brother people I like, then I'll be torn.